All right, today is going to be a short one, folks. So we're going to just install our stairs. It's the same set of stairs for the back, and we will go ahead and get this done. So we need to, first of all, go back to our house. Now, 2 times ago, I had made a connector, and I think I'm going to start this over again because somehow I messed up where it is. And then I realized we can't be in the center of the door. We need to be in the center of these 2 posts right here in order for it to look right, in order for it to work right. So I'm going to get rid of this thing that I called stair connector by scrolling all the way down to the bottom, and let's just delete it. I'm going to start that one over again. So where I want to put this is I want to put it in from this corner right here, but I need to find out how far it is from that corner to this post. So here's how I'm going to do that is I need to find out, first of all, if I'm looking straight at the front, we're going to go in between these 2 posts right here. So for me to measure, I know this is a little tedious to look at because I'm moving around a lot, but I'm going to measure, and I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to measure from that face of that board right there to the inside face of the post, or the outside face, sorry, of the post. So I'm going to measure to right there. And that distance is 146 and a half. Okay, so it's 146 and a half from the inside to that post. I'm going to write that down. All right, now we're going to measure another spot. We're going to measure from the inside of this to the inside of that. So let's measure again from the inside face of that to the inside face of the next post there. And that distance is 68. So that makes it easy. My distance is going to be 146 plus half of 68 because I'm going to connect it right in the middle. So 146 plus 34 is 180.5 is how far I'm going to move that piece. Now, I also did some measuring on from the bottom to the top of my stairs in order for me to figure out where that thing's going to go. So if you remember, it was 29 and a half to the top of the header, or the structure that is beneath the top of the deck. So it should be 29 and a half minus 24.8. We'll see what happens for that distance that where we have to put it from the top. All right, so here we go with the numbers that I've got. I'm going to put that spot, that make connector. Okay, we're going to go over here to this corner of this board. So flipping it up a little bit, I'm going up there. Now it looks like it's on this board, but it's actually underneath. I'm going to go ahead and click up there. And now I'm going to move it. And I need to move it along the y-axis. It looks like a negative for me, negative 180.5. And then I need to move it in the x-axis, which is going downward, and it's going to be 29.5 minus that. I believe that measurement was 28.6. I'm going to double check that, but we're going to say 28. No, it was 24.6. Shoot. Okay, I got to go remember that. Sorry, guys. Let's measure that again. From the bottom surface to the top surface, 24.8. Let's see if I can come back and see if that's still there. It's not still there. All right, fine. So I'm going to put my mate connector. I'm going to write down 24.8 before I forget it again. Put in my mate connector on that corner up there. Again, we're going to move. I'm going to move along the y-axis. We'll see if it's not negative. 180.5. And then I'm going to move it down the x-axis. 29.5 minus 24.8. I believe that that is going to work. And it looks like we are good. Now, I don't know what this one is that's down here. That's really bizarre. It shouldn't have created two of them. I accidentally created one. I didn't mean to. I'm going to get rid of that one because I don't know why I did it. And we've got our spot. And luckily, there is some board that we can connect to. All right, so we're going to put our stairs in. I'm going to turn the land off for now, just because it'll help me see what I'm doing. All right, we're going to put in and insert those stairs that we just made. Insert the front stairs. There's just one part. We should be able to put that in. Sounds good. Let's group the front stairs together to make sure it stays how I want it to stay. And I can go ahead and do this the way it is. I could flip it around, but I know what I want to connect together. What I want is I want to fasten mate that is going to go from the very, very middle top of this right there to that mate connector that we just made right there. Now, it's going the wrong way right now, so I'm going to have to flip it around. Oh, that's the wrong way. I got to rotate it. Oh, geez. There we go. Rotate it and flip it. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with this. I want to flip it around the X. Not sure why. Go back here again. There we go. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't get it there in the first place. And we can hit our check mark. Good. Okay, get rid of that. And now I'm going to turn my land back on and see how we're doing. Should be our set of stairs that is even set, following code, going up there. Now, we're not actually following code because this is more than 24 inches, and you have to have railing when you're more than 24 inches. But we're going to come back and do that another time. Changed location for the second half of the video. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about putting in the stairs into the garage. So we're going to create a little modification here. See if we can get away with 3 steps. So first of all, I need a measurement here. So I'm going to kind of zoom in. It gets a little hard to see here. I got to fly. So I'm going to measure, and I'm going to measure from right here, which is actually 1.5 inches up. Or I could measure from, no, I don't want to do there. I'm going to measure from right here to this concrete floor at a minimum distance of 30.571. I'm going to write that down. Now, that's actually going to be 1.5 inches lower to where the steps are going to go, because if this was a real frame, we'd cut this piece out of the door frame. The floor is actually the height. Now, it would be actually that floor plus whatever the flooring we're going to use, because it matters. If that flooring is 1/2 inch thick, you can't be more than 3/8 of an inch off from one step to the other. So that's per code. So we need to make sure that we're within that. So I've written down that distance. That's going to be -1.5. To get to my distance from the lowest part of the floor because remember, we sloped this to the top. Now, in the real world, we would cut those to different heights to adjust for the slope and all that stuff, but I'm not going to do that this time. We'll just have it go down inside of there. So let's modify what we're doing here in order to make those other ones fit. So our other ones, let's talk about this. I'm going to do my math here. You can't see my calculator, but I'm going 30.571 minus 1.5 is going to be 29.071 is our total distance that we're going to have to deal with for our risers. Now, we're still going to need 5 steps there. Now, the reality is in the real world, this garage would probably be filled in more, and this foundation would be lower, and so you wouldn't need that many steps. You'd need 1 or 2 steps into the garage, but we're gonna deal with this the right way. So I'm gonna go back to my front stairs. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. So go to your front stairs tab, right click, and duplicate it. Okay. Now it's going to say front stairs copy 1. Go to that, and let's rename that as garage stairs. GAR would work. Garage stairs. Now we're going to do one thing first before we do anything else, and we're going to make this the right width. We made it 48 before. We're going to make it 38 now because that door frame is 38 inches wide. So we're going to make it match that, which means that we need to go to whatever that extrude was. If we made this middle plane, that's what we need. That middle plane was 24 inches to make it a total of 48. So if I wanted to make it 38 inches long, that's going to be 19. So I'm going to make that 19 inches. So I'm going to go through and do that again. I'm going to undo it just to show you what I did in case it doesn't work. Oh, and then we need to change those extrusions. So I'm finding my way to not this first offset plane, but that one that's in the middle. Double click on it and change your offset distance to 19. Good. And then we need to change our extrude distance that we made those stairs instead of 48 to 38. All right, now we've got the right set of stairs. Now, they are not the right height, though, because back in our first sketch, we made these each 6.2 because we divided 31 by the number of risers, right? So we're going to do that same thing again. This time, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5x minus 1.5. Oh, no, sorry, it's 5. It's 4x plus another x minus 1.5. So that would be 5x minus 1.5. And this time it's going to equal that 29.071, but this time minus 1.5 inches, I think. Yes. All right, so after doing the calculations, 5x equals 29.071. And we're going to change that to a 5.81 rise. Now we still can't, we'll be a little over 7 if we went with 4 steps. So we legally can't do that. So we're going to change that to 5.81 and this one to 5.81. And it should shift everything, okay? We still need, we need that one to be 5.81 minus 1.5. 5.81 minus 1.5. There we go, to be a little bit shorter. And this should now be the right height. Okay, so when we finish that sketch, everything else should kind of shift. It got a little bit lower, and we should be able to put in the stairs into the garage now. Now, what's going to happen is this concrete's going to come up into this one a little bit because it slopes up, but I won't tell anybody if you don't. So let's, rather than cut that out and figure out the slope and all that, we're just going to do it and put it in there. So let's go back to our house. This one's going to be a little tricky because I again have to figure out where to put that connector piece. So I'm going to have to find out what the distance is from, I think the easiest way to do this is from this inside point right here, that point, to this point right there will give us that horizontal distance to the corner. And that's going to be 215.75, writing that down. And we're going to add half of 38, so we're going to put plus 19 as where we're going to put that. All right, now this one's going to be a little easier because I only have to move it one direction. Let's get out of our measuring. I don't need to be there anymore. All right, so it's going to be a little tricky. You have to kind of get to where you can see everything. We're going to put a connector right here at this point. So we're going to put in our mate connector, hover around, and I want it to be up there on that top point right there. Okay, but we're going to offset it. We're going to move it. We're going to move it along the X because the X is what's going off to my right. And we're going to move that. Our total of 215.75 was the distance plus 19. Should put that enter right in the middle of the doorway. Cool. Let's make sure. I think I'm being blocked. There it is. Nice. Good. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and connect those stairs to that. So we're going to insert. We're going to insert in the garage stairs this time. Okay. Get them in here somewhere. Say okay. Don't forget to group. The last thing we put in, which is, what did I put in the front stairs? I did not mean to. That is not what I meant to do. I don't know what happened there. So I'm going to delete that. Let's try this again. Insert garage stairs. Huh. Even though I changed, let's see what happens when I'm going to not do that. Let's see what happens when I insert from, oh, it's still called front stairs. That's why. Okay, so now you might have this problem too. So go back to your garage stairs and change the part name to garage stairs. So the name of the part studio was garage stairs, but we didn't change the name of the part that's within it. Let's do that. Come on. All right, now it won't confuse me anymore, I hope. I'm easily confused though. All right, insert garage stairs. Ta-da, now it's showing what I wanted it to be. Good, and now we're gonna group all the way down to garage stairs. Good, and now we can put them on there. All right, so we're going to do the top middle. Let's do our fasten mate. Top middle. Make sure it's facing outward. I think that's what I messed up on last time when I had to flip it around a lot. And we're gonna go and connect it to that one right there. And of course, it's not going the right way. I have to revolve it. So first I have to flip it, and then I have to revolve it. There we go. All right, and we got some stairs coming down into the garage and blocking half of the garage because your teacher did not design this house very well to think about this. Boo. Okay, but at least they're in there. All right, and good. And we don't need that open anymore. So let's get to a point. First of all, let's turn off those mate connectors that are showing there. We can hide them so that they're not visible. Let's go ahead and just right about like that. Go ahead and take a picture of your, orient it so I can see your name and those two sets of stairs, and take a picture of it just like, yeah, let's zoom in a little bit and kind of take a picture that looks, maybe in here. Okay, that shows those two sets of stairs with your name. And we are good for today. All right, thanks folks. We will see you next time.